and all by yourself. So, staring at the night sky, huh? No, you don't need to say anything if you don't want to. I think I have a pretty good idea of what you're going through. Even if you can't or simply don't want to explain it, it's just one of those nights, isn't it? One of those nights where you want to be alone and somehow still feel lonely. And you wonder how come, while you're not alone with friends and family surrounding you in one way or another, you still feel lonely. But only when you're alone, only after sundown and before dawn. That is where you can truly be yourself, when no one is watching. No responsibilities, no expectations, no judgments, just you. It's one of those nights where you feel everything and nothing at all, both at the same time. You're somehow both starved and super saturated. One of those nights where you share both amazement and contempt for people, for humans, for society, for the world, for the universe, and for yourself. You look up at the night sky and you see the stars and the moon, and you realize how far humanity has come. We've been to the moon. We know what these tiny, shiny yellow dots in the sky are and how they work. And we've shot satellites into space that are in this very moment surrounding the Earth or other planets, all so that we can explore more of it. That's amazing, isn't it? And yet, it's creating enormous amounts of space crap. And that reminds you of all the bad things, humanity seemed to be doing, of all the convenience, of all the exploitation, of all the egoism. And while looking back at the sky, you realize how insignificant our own lives and worries, hell, how insignificant humanity as a whole seems to be, living on that pale blue dot. And you're not quite sure how to feel about it. Should you feel great? Because that means you can do whatever you want without any real consequences. At least not in the grand scheme of things. At least not in the grand scheme of the universe. Or should you be devastated because it means that any of your efforts, any of your struggles, any of your pain seems to be for nothing? Just an ever so tiny scream, an ever so tiny rebellion fading away into the void, into the vastness of the universe. It's one of those nights where you wish to be found, where you wish for your tiny scream to be heard, but still decide to hide. One of those nights where you wish to go home. Ever since you remember, you've been trying to go home, trying to find a home, but you don't even know what you mean by home. You don't even know what you're looking for. Is it a quiet, peaceful house somewhere out in the nature? Or a tiny flat in an adventurous city? Or a van for a life on the road? Or simply the warm embrace of another person? It's one of those nights where you just don't know what you want. Is it love? Or is it freedom? Hell, probably it's both. But you're quite sure that these two don't go together all so well. You want to settle down and live a quiet, peaceful life. You want to travel around and don't ever touch the ground. It's one of those nights where you wish to run, just run away from all your responsibilities, all your demons. Just run somewhere. And yet you want to go nowhere, but also you also, life in general seems to be not enough. You want more, perhaps something surreal. But there's no wizards, witches, and dragons in this world are waiting for you once you wake up in the morning. You want more time as well for all the things you wish to try and wish to be. You may compare yourself to others, but you're chained to yourself, chained to the transient nature of life. And by now you fear that your dreams might ruin reality for you, that your life story may not be what you want for it to be. You're not even sure anymore if you want to tell the story or be the story. You're not sure if you should be grateful for all the things you are, all the things you have, or regret all the things you are not and all the things you do not have. And while you're cursing time, you cannot stop but realize that all the limits that it brings may give value to it all. And one tiny voice screams as well, happy that one day all of it might end. The end that's both pressure and relief. Is it oddly terrifying or oddly peaceful or both? You're not quite sure. It's one of those nights where you're nostalgic about the past, wishing you could be or ever have been, oh, one more time, an innocent child, without any worries in the world, without any responsibilities. But then you think about the future, because all you can do is look ahead. But come to think of it, what is the future? What is the past? Nothing more than just an illusion. There's only now, an eternal now. So all the changes you wish to make, you can make them at any moment, because any moment is now. But you have to make them now, not tomorrow, and certainly not yesterday. And then you realize how often you've decided on things you want to change, but all along you're still here, in the same old place, living the same old life, with the same old lies. Because while you may have stopped running, you never turned around. It's one of those nights where you could talk and talk and talk and still not explain what's going on inside your head. One of those nights where you wish you could explain what you think, what you feel, but you can't. You just can't. Not to others, but not even to yourself either. It's like you're trying to communicate something incommunicable, explain the inexplicable. It's like the right words, the right language hasn't been developed yet. But in the end, I'm convinced you'll find a way to express it, a way worthy of your raw emotions, a way that'll only distort your thoughts and feelings in the tiniest of ways. And you'll find out that the explanation was ever so simple all along. And if you don't have one right now, I get you. We all get you. Because it's just